I'm Haline, and we are going to talk about the extended researchers towards a meta-social human beings and how we did a practice research, led research, to study the extended reality technologies, practically those derived from virtual reality, and how they offer promising alternatives in so far as they foster new social contexts that must be analyzed and systematized. And this research has started to focus on how we would embrace those challenges. And we had started within this question: who is not affected by isolation? And we had these 5 points here, and we wanted to discuss about it and how we could maybe think the isolation by this using art, technology, well-being, innovation, and science. That's how we have started to study some important statistics such as this, how the pandemic causes in anxiety and depression, and even some previous research such as this from Nature that have pointed that the PhD researchers were already affected by depression within isolation, and how the research in itself has problems with considering the isolation and the social difficulties we have when we are really in deep in a research. That's how we came to other studies too. We wanted to understand a little bit more the emotional problem related to the isolation of investigator, and if it was already evident in previous research. So we did some research about it, and the pandemic scenario served as an even greater warning to professionals such as scientists, in which alternative contact solutions are very welcome. And also that's how we came to this event that was this practical led research we did. The event was titled Surviving a PhD, Tech and Arts Experiences. And what we had there, we had an event, 1-day event in July. We had presentations, we had artistic presentations, we have conference area with discussion and in keynotes, and we have an immersion possibility to discuss, to network. That's what we had in mind, and that's what we have designed to happen in this particular day. And so we did prepare some technology to provide this kind of immersive experience, trying to test some things. And in this presentation, we are going to show how we did use this methodology, the user experience in testing, and how we did create this environment, and how started to think of how it could be a different way of experimenting the immersive reality. So to continue in this discussion, I'm going to invite Jorge Forero, my colleague, and he's going to explain a little bit more how we approached this solution. Jorge, the stage is yours.
Thanks, Haline. As we anticipate, the idea was to develop a three-dimensional virtual environment to share experiences in real time. At first, our doubts were to understand what attributes should be present in this environment. We conceptualized the word isolation from its associated etymological concept as the feeling of being on a lonely island. Thus, we visualize this introspective process as a transit toward the unknown. In this sense, the idea of the MINOTAUR arose, since, as it underlies from the myth, the cell's problem does not consist of solving the labyrinth, but facing the MINOTAUR located at the center, which somehow represents his inner struggle. We wanted to refer to the concept described abstractly and symbolically. For this, we decided to use a vibrant color palette to generate a contrast with the seemingly desolate environment. For the building process, we took reference from the Portuguese artist Pedro CABRITA REIS, who works on the concept of a human presence that is no longer there. In addition, we place ourselves from the intimate perspective of the first painting of Maria Elena Vieira da Silva, which had diverse influences that combined Cubism, Futurism, and Constructivism. With this background in mind, we discussed various platforms to carry out the project. Among them, the multiple experiences that each of us had with applications for video conferencing such as Zoom, Meet or Jitsi, for example, were discussed, and those social networks available to share streams such as YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook Live. In general, the main criticism that arose to these platforms consisted of the directionality and the linearity of the interaction. For example, when we attempt a conference in Zoom, it is almost impossible to carry out parallel dialogues without interrupting the sessions. On the other hand, participants' interactions are limited to comment transmitted on the chat on platforms such as YouTube. Our proposal developed a conference in an immersive virtual environment to promote multidirectional and asynchronous encounters and interactions. Thus, attendees were invited to participate in a scheduled activity in an environment developed in Mozilla Hubs. This open-source web platform allowed the creation of multi-user virtual spaces under a first-person game mechanic. This type of experience has already been implemented in various events around the world. In particular, we could highlight the case of the Ars Electronica event Kepler Gardens, which in the 2020 version used this system to carry out its programming. Thus, we proposed to build a virtual environment where there would be a lobby with instruction and usability. From there, users could distribute themselves into 3 rooms: conference area, cultural leisure, and food for thought area. Likewise, the participants had to choose an avatar with which they could visit the facilities provided for the event. We developed a vast scenario for the conference area that allowed visitors to see the speakers' presentations. There was also an interactive poster that channeled the participants' questions to the speakers so that the moderator could then formulate them. We also designed a circular scenario to share experiences. In this room, and unlike the previous one, it was possible to engage in a loud dialogue. Finally, we worked on an area for exhibition projects in tune with the conference topic. Now, my colleague Jordana Casarin will present the results of the project.
Thank you, Jorge and Haline. And now I'm going to talk about results and evaluation. So, the usability tests was a very important for us. We did it too. And the first one, we was interested in measuring the time it takes users to find each access. After we had which users' time, and we will ask questions about level of technology and which access point the user find first. In the second one, we did it with 14 users to test the ability to interact within Mozilla Hubs. And was a more open experience for users to explore the space and the interaction with each other to check the behavior inside the platform. And here we have some results, answers from the users. So after usability testing, we create a text port with information about the platform and the emergency protocol. If we have some problems, knowing who to contact, and we send it to all the participants before the event by email. And in the day of the event, we had interactions by chat, and inside in the platform we have an avatar. If you need help, ask me, and also leave your question. It's a kind of button in the conference area. So in general, we have a positive effects when you observe the registrations and impressions of visitors from the 23 countries. And in the day of the event, we had 205 simultaneous access in the platform. And we have a lot of interactions in our social media, in Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and our website. And we had partnerships. Thank you everyone for your attention. If you have some questions or comments, send it to us. See you!